Harlan, we thank you for joining us here. It's been a busy show, but there are so many more things we want to get to in the last 5 minutes here. Richard Dearlove, the former head of MI6, James Bond's boss, right? This is the top, one of the premier, I think, the best intelligence service in the world. The CIA might disagree. But MI6, the former head of MI6 saying what, Greg, in a recent interview with The Telegraph? Let's play the clip.
Which brings us to the conspiracy theory, I guess, that an engineered escapee, the virus, could not possibly have been engineered with a view to causing global turmoil, so China could benefit from it, could it?
No, I don't. Absolutely. Because, I mean, China itself has suffered hugely, and probably more than we realise, because they will have not published the true figures. I do think that this started as an accident. Okay, once it started, there are things about the Chinese behaviour which are completely shocking, but there was nothing deliberate about the origins of it. I mean, the research into viruses, well, I won't go into the sort of motives for the research, but the medical motives are quite well understood. But it's a risky business if you make a mistake.
What is he saying there, Greg? That sounds to me like he's saying that he said it started as an accident. Not started in a wet market, started as an accident. He's talking about labs. I thought this was a conspiracy theory. The former head of MI6 is coming out now and saying, actually, hold on a minute. Maybe he started as an accident. And the motives behind the research, the gain of function.
Exactly. That's what I was going to point to. He doesn't say gain of function, but that's the point he's getting at.
We've heard that so many times, Jack. You started it here on the show.
Well, I mean, one of the things they claim in this study, which we have not actually read yet, I apologize, it seems it's a bit difficult to find, is that they actually inserted genes into the thing to make it more communicable. This is the whole idea behind gain of function. Dearlove says that likely it was created in the lab, got out of the lab, and he says some amazing things. He said, sorry about that, peeps. I'm all over the place here.
We want to get it. Jack, you got all the time in the world. We want to get it exactly right.
He says, look at the stories of the attempts by the leadership to lock down any debate about the origins of the pandemic and the way that people have been arrested or silenced. I mean, we shouldn't really have any doubts any longer about what we're dealing with. Of course, the Chinese must have felt, well, if they've got to suffer a pandemic, maybe we shouldn't try too hard to stop it, as it were. Our competitors suffering the same disadvantages, we get it. Look, the Chinese understand us extremely well. They have made a study of us over the last decade or longer, particularly through attending our universities. We understand the Chinese very poorly. It's an imbalanced relationship in that respect. We need to go into reverse. It's important that we do not put any of our critical infrastructure in the hands of the Chinese interests. So telecommunications, Huawei, nuclear power stations, and then things that we require in a crisis, PPEs, medicines. We have allowed China so much rope that we are now suffering the consequences.
Why have I not seen this flash up on the nightly news?
Well, one of the things that he also relates is that the Chinese has tremendous influence in the scientific literary publications at this point. We have seen this over and over again. We have to ask questions. Why are these studies appearing in Lancet? Why are they appearing in JAMA? What are the objectives of falsified studies that oppose the president's lay opinion on a very benign drug? Who is behind this? Are the tentacles of the CCP here? I think it's highly possible. We know they control the chemistry department at Harvard. Why not the editorial board at Lancet? We need to wake up America to this threat. These people are amongst us, and we need to identify them. They're no different than the Antifa. This 1,000 Talents program in America is really just a giant attempt at espionage and an attempt to destroy our country and our way of life. We need to back the president 100% in shutting down the CCP.
Harlan Hill, where can people find more of your work?
I'm on Twitter at Harlan, or go to my website, harlanhill.com, HARLAN.
Aurum Pandemic. We'll be back tomorrow with specials, D-Day and the new federal Chinese special with Stephen K. Bannon. I want to thank all the team here as well. Make sure you're going to pandemic.warum.org. Sign up for the newsletter. #WarumPandemic. See you tomorrow.